Hey guys, welcome personal chefs and culinary entrepreneurs. I am Stephanie Heller and I've been a personal chef for the last 8 years and I've cracked the code on making consistent income as a personal chef. So I'm glad you're joining me here today. Come, let's learn the recipe for success. So today we're talking about how to price your personal chef services. This is a huge hot button topic that everybody is asking about and is such a level of anxiety your first few years, usually as a personal chef, because you're not yet comfortable maybe charging a certain rate, or you're not sure what's appropriate for the industry, or you're not sure if your services are worth it. I hear that a lot. And in the first like 0 to 1 year, or even in your second year, you're probably dabbling a lot of different ways of how do I price this, or when an inquiry comes in, maybe you don't really have a set model or plan to work from, and I want to help you with that today. So pricing your services is one of the most important things about your business. It shows the community and the business landscape that you're in that this is a real business, that you don't do this for free, that you charge a rate for your service, and it's an exchange. It's got to be equal. And the problem with starting off is you're not sure of what that equal exchange is, because maybe you don't have a lot of clients yet. Maybe you're just out of culinary school, or you're just out of a restaurant job making $10 or $12 an hour, so you have no basis to draw it from. And you might get very frustrated and upset with, I'm charging too little, or I'm making less than I did in a restaurant, or I'm not drawing in the right people that are paying the rate that I want, or I hear this a lot. I see a lot of other chefs charging this amount. Why isn't it working for me? And what I want you to come back to in that, first little bit of years of business for yourself is, what is the exchange that makes sense and that feels good? Because what feels good to you is going to be believable and executable for you. These are big words for no reason. But if you don't believe your services are worth it, anybody you get on the phone with is not going to believe it too. They're going to sense the hesitation in your voice. They're going to know that you don't have a lot of experience, and they're not going to be confident in, I'm paying X for this, so I'm going to get Y. It's your job to portray that confidence. And the way you do it in the beginning, while you're building your client base and you're building your portfolio, is to be connected to reality in your pricing and to believe what you are selling and that it has value for somebody else. Another thing I want to touch on early before we get into the nuts and bolts is, if you believe that you are just selling food, you're in the wrong business, because that's not what personal chefs do. Personal chefs use food as the medium, as the transaction, to provide a more important service and more important value, which is giving back their clients time. We're really selling time. Lots of other professionals are too. They may or may not know it, especially in a service-based industry, but we are selling time. The actual result may be, yes, they are left with food, or yes, you served food, but you are giving them back their time on many different formats. It could be they don't have to go food shopping. They don't have to do any dishes. They don't have to prepare food. They don't have to make a menu. They don't have to clean up. All of these things give them back time. More importantly, they give them peace of mind that they have made the right decision, that they are taking care of their family, that they're not stressed out, that they can use their mind and their energy for something else. I can't tell you how many clients have called me over the years and said, I can't even think about what I have to make for dinner after I've worked all day. I pick my kids up from soccer and we're going through a drive-through every day. They feel bad about it. They want that annoying, nagging feeling that they're not taking care of their family taken away. And you take that away as a personal chef. That is valuable, and that's what they're buying. So reframe it a little like that. Now, the other side of this is, just like I said before, you have to believe that your services are worth it. And when you're first starting out, you might not have that belief. So you copy what other people doing and you go along on that road. One quick cautionary tale I have on this is I was briefly coaching somebody who wanted to start her own business and she had no formal cooking experience. She took a few like natural cooking classes. She didn't really go to culinary school, which is fine, but she just didn't have that experience yet. And she came to me and she said, I'm charging $650 for a cook day. And I was like, okay, what are you providing? And she couldn't even explain it. She was, I'll do, maybe 4 entrees with 3 portions, and it includes a custom menu. Nothing was unique. Nothing was interesting. There was no major value that she could convey behind that price. Can you be a personal chef making $650 a day? Sure, I have. But it's many years down the road, and you're providing a certain value that you know about. The moral of the story is she couldn't sell a damn thing. She had no clients. She had no confidence. She couldn't even get somebody on the phone long enough to explain the service. She was having trouble setting up practice cook days. Even easy stuff for free, she was having trouble doing because she didn't even believe that what she was doing was worth it. So my little cautionary tale, don't start there. Start with what you know. So let's get into the 3 things that we use to decide how to price your personal chef services. This is a little variation on what I teach in my courses and in private coaching. So I'll give you a little quick preview of how you do it. The first thing you need to do is decide your model of service. What services are you going to provide? This could be weekly in-home cooking. This could be dinner parties. This could be a meal preparation where you're only cooking part of the meal. I don't advocate this, but some people do that. Those are the 2 things. You got to decide your model of service and what they actually get and detail it out. It can't be vague. It can't be, I'm going to cook whatever they want when they call me. That's not deciding what services you're providing or having a model of service, which is why it's going to be hard for you to price. Decide that first. Let's go with the example of the weekly in-home cooking. Lots of people start with the 4x4, 4 entrees with 4 portions each. Each entree has a protein, a vegetable, and a starch, and each of those has 4 portions each. So you're coming away with about 16 meals for the week. And this is usually good for anywhere from 1 to 5 people eating. It could be anywhere from 3 to 6 days. It could last in their fridge depending on what you're cooking, all the specifics of that. Once you decide that, you're going to choose if you're going to do hourly or flat rate pricing. I ultimately teach flat rate pricing is better. But if you are just starting out, and you do not know the scope of service yet, you can start with hourly. The only pitfalls with hourly is a few things. Number 1, it's hard to get paid for your back time, meaning the time it takes for you to set up the whole service, the menu, the food shopping, and charging for these extra services. Like let's say you do $50 an hour, and then you have a $50 food shopping charge, and then you have a $20 menu charge. It doesn't look good. Nobody likes it. Clients don't want to be nitpicked and charged all these extra things. In my experience, clients love a flat rate because they see everything that's included. So decide which one you want to go with and make a decision based on experience. So once you get a couple clients in the door and you see how long it takes for you to execute a regular 4x4 cook day, you can reassess. Jumping back and forth from each one is confusing because you're not going to gather enough data on each one. And that's the last point. Stick with one. If you are doing hourly for one person, the next person that calls you're doing flat rate, the next person you're back to hourly, but it's a different hourly rate, it's going to be, again, hard for you to collect data and know which is good for you. So stick with one, do it for several clients, and then build information that you can then change your services from. You can have specific things on your website because people need to know what they're getting, but you can always go way more in depth in the phone call. That is when you get to really know this client and to start to form a relationship. In the same note of pricing your services, I highly suggest, if you are in the beginning of your business, meaning under 3 years, you go to their home and do an in-person consult. This is a deal breaker because when you're new, it's hard to gauge and drive a sale on a phone if you're not used to it. But when you're in person, the chance of them becoming a client is 100%. I have never in 8 years been in somebody's home and walked out without a check or a credit card. Never. It doesn't happen because the people that have you in their home and invite you there for the service to explain it, they're already sold on you and getting the service. They just want to meet you and have that personal experience, which is, again, what you're selling. You're selling a personal experience. That's why you're a personal chef. This is why meal delivery falls short of what being a personal chef really is, because you are not in their home. You are not having any type of personal relationship with this person. And it is ultimately not as, I don't want to use the word thick, but as important or compelling for them to have you back because they don't know you and they don't care about you. They just care about getting food. If you rewind to the first 5 seconds, you know we're not really selling food. So keep these things in mind. Let me know if you have any questions. Pricing your personal chef services is an ongoing process. You're not just going to set it and forget it. You're going to meet, we have hundreds of clients over the years where our model has changed a little bit. It hasn't changed drastically, but we listen to what our clients want also, and we go from there. Also, my last parting, wisdom is you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Don't think of elaborate, crazy pricing for every single person that comes in the door. I have seen personal chefs in Facebook pages and in different groups have this elaborate pricing model of all different variations of this and that, of main entrees only, sides only, staying and preparing it, leaving it and not preparing it. This is craziness. Nobody wants all that. People want a quick solution to their problems. Start with your services model of 1 or 2 things, and then you can do variations from there when you're on the phone with them or in person. Don't put up a huge grid of different, hard to understand pricing. It's very confusing. Nobody's going to call you up because it's too confusing. Start with something easy. That's my little advice. Hope it's good for you. And let me know if you have any questions, obviously, to your sweet success. Bye.